Okay, gotta admit, when I first saw clutter as our deep dive topic, I was like, really?
Hmm.
But then I started digging into the research.
Yeah,
And wow, it's actually fascinating. Like how our physical spaces, they can really mess with our happiness, huh?
it's true. People think, oh, clutter is just a messy house, right? But it goes way deeper.
Deeper than just like
Yeah,
visual stuff.
way deeper. I mean, there's actual research showing it impacts like stress levels, your focus, all sorts of things.
So in this deep dive, that's what we're going to unpack, like why clutter secretly impacts us, but also how do we use that knowledge, right, to make our spaces, well, happier.
Exactly. And it gets pretty deep. Like there was this study in the Journal of Personality and the Social Psychology. They found women who said their homes were cluttered.
Uh-huh.
They actually had higher cortisol, that's the stress hormone, like all day long.
Way, so just having a messy house can actually make you stress. That's crazy.
It is. But it kind of makes sense when you think of how our brains work, right?
Yeah.
Like we're getting all this sensory input constantly. And every single object, it adds to that. So a cluttered space, it's basically constant low-grade sensory overload.
I'm starting to feel stressed just thinking about my spare room. But okay, before we spiral, let's back up.
Yeah.
What exactly are we talking about when we say disorganized living? Is it just like a messy house or what?
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Cluttered home, sure, but also think like a chaotic workspace,
Mm,
overflowing inbox,
mm,
even no routines, for your time or tasks.
mm.
It's that feeling of always looking for stuff,
Yeah.
feeling overwhelmed by to-dos, like you have zero control over your environment.
Okay, so it's that overall chaos feeling, whether it's our stuff or even in our heads. I
Right.
think everyone kind of feels that these days. But before we get to solutions, I'm curious, WHY, do we even let clutter build up? Is it just laziness or is there like some deeper psychology happening?
Oh, there's definitely some psychology to it. One thing is decision fatigue,
Hmm.
Our brains, they only have so much energy for decisions. Every decision, even small ones.
Hmm.
It uses some of that. So when you're always deciding what to do with all your stuff,
Right.
it's exhausting. And it's harder to make good choices about, well, anything else in your life.
That's so true. Like, I'm already tired from deciding what to wear, what to eat. By the time I get to cleaning, my brain is fried.
Exactly. And then on top of that, we get attached to our things even if we don't use them anymore.
Oh, for sure.
Sentimentality, fear of letting go, or that classic, what if I need it someday?
That just in case mentality. Whew, I'm so guilty of that. Like, I keep stuff thinking I'll need it 5 years from now, and then my basement is just packed.
Yeah, it's a trap. Comes from feeling like there's not enough or
Mm.
fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
But honestly, all that just in case stuff, it just stresses you out more in the long run.
So, how do we get out of that cycle? How do we start seeing clutter as, like, actually bad for us, not just a messy room?
Well, understanding how clutter impacts our brain and body helps. Studies show cluttered spaces can actually make your working memory worse.
Wait, so it's not just that I feel distracted when my desk is a mess. My brain is actually worse at focusing.
Yep. Princeton researchers, they found people in cluttered spaces, they were less productive, harder time processing information compared to folks in tidy areas.
Mm.
Their brains were working overtime just to ignore all the distractions. That leaves less brain power for the actual task.
Wow, so my messy desk is, like, literally sabotaging me.
And it's not just work, it's your leisure time too. Try relaxing in a messy living room.
Right.
Hard to truly unwind when you're surrounded by stuff you need to do or haven't done.
Totally. It's like my brain can't shut off when my space is chaotic, always on alert, trying to process it all.
Exactly. And over time, that constant low-level stress, it impacts your mental and physical health. Anxiety, fatigue, sleep problems, even your immune system.
Okay, I'm convinced. Clutter is officially the enemy.
But the good news is, decluttering and organizing can have a huge positive impact. It's not just looks, it's creating a space that helps you mentally, emotionally, and just feel more peaceful.
So basically, decluttering your space declutters your mind too.
You got it.
Okay, I am intrigued. But before we go full Marie Kondo, let's look at the psychology behind clutter. Why do we get attached to our stuff? And what stops us from letting go? All that when we come back.
It's funny, right? How we get so attached to stuff.
Yeah, it's not always about the thing itself. It's what it, I don't know, represents or something.
Exactly. Like concert ticket stubs, no real value, but
But the memories.
exactly. Each thing is like a little time capsule,
Oh.
a piece of your past. Letting go is almost like,
Losing a part of yourself.
yeah, or your story. No wonder decluttering feels so hard.
It's like grief almost for some stuff. And then on top of that, there's that whole decluttering is change.
Oh, yeah,
And change is scary.
big time. Even if it's subconscious, we resist change because it's unknown. Our brains like patterns. Big decluttering, it feels like upending your whole world.
So we've got emotional attachment, fear of change, and good old decision fatigue all working against us.
It's a lot. But the first step is just knowing it's a thing. Once you get those mental blocks, then you can figure out how to, beat them.
So how do we do that? Move past all that and actually make spaces that are good for us?
One thing that helps me is, like, changing how we think about our stuff.
Hmm.
Instead of what am I losing, it's what do I gain by letting go?
Ooh, I like that. Shifting from like scarcity to abundance.
Exactly. You gain space, literally, and in your mind. You gain time and energy you can use for stuff that actually matters.
So it's choosing to prioritize experiences, relationships, that kind of stuff, the stuff that really makes you happy.
Yep. And once you've made that mental shift, the actual decluttering, it gets way easier.
Okay, hit me with the tips. What are the best ways to tackle clutter and make things organized and peaceful?
First, start small. Don't try to do your whole house at once. One drawer, one shelf, a corner of a room, whatever feels doable.
That's good advice. It's easy to get overwhelmed looking at the big picture.
For sure, small wins help you keep going.
What about that 1 year rule? Is that legit?
It's a decent place to start. Haven't used it in a year? You probably don't need it. Obviously, some exceptions like sentimental things or
Holiday decor.
exactly. But for everyday stuff, if it's been a year, ask yourself, would I buy this again today? If not, let it go.
That's a good one. It makes you really think about if something's truly useful.
And for sentimental stuff that's hard to part with, try to honor the memory without keeping the actual thing. Take a picture, write down the story, maybe repurpose it somehow.
I like that. Keep the memory without all the, I don't know, baggage.
And remember, decluttering doesn't have to mean trashing stuff. Donate, sell online, give to friends.
Right, like find it a new home where it'll actually be used, reduce waste and all that.
Exactly. Once you've decluttered, then you organize. Get storage that works for you, clear bins, drawer dividers, all that good stuff.
It's giving everything its place. No more hunting for things. It's all about having a system.
Yep, and don't be afraid to get creative. Tons of DIY storage ideas online. Could even be a fun project with family or roommates.
Oh, that's fun. Making organizing a creative thing.
Why not? But then, the big question, how do you keep the clutter from coming back?
Right, maintenance. That's the key.
It's all about routines. The one in, one out rule is good. New item comes in, old one goes out.
So keeping things balanced.
Right. And schedule time to declutter regularly, monthly, even just 15 minutes a week. Maintaining is way easier than a huge purge all at once.
Making it a habit, not a chore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's no one right way. Try stuff out, see what works for you, and be patient. It's a journey, not a sprint.
True that. It's about progress, not being perfect. You know, it'd be cool sharing some stories of people who actually transformed their lives by decluttering. Sometimes hearing what others did is super inspiring.
Love that. Stories help us connect and see what's possible.
Okay, so there's Sarah, busy mom, 3 kids. She was drowning in clutter, toys everywhere, laundry never ending, just constant cleaning but never catching up.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Right. Sarah hit her limit. Started small, one kitchen drawer a day, and she got momentum, then tackled bigger stuff. Playroom, kids' rooms, all of it.
How'd you get the kids on board, though? That's the hard part.
She made it a game. Sorting toys together, deciding what to keep, even had rewards for tidy rooms.
Smart. Make it fun. It's not a chore anymore.
Exactly. And it worked. Not just a cleaner house, but Sarah said she was calmer, more energy, even more present with her kids.
Because she wasn't cleaning all the
You
time.
know, more time and energy to actually play with them.
That's the best part. It's not just about the stuff. It impacts your whole life.
Absolutely. And Sarah's story is just one. We've heard from people who decluttered and found like their purpose, their creativity again, people whose work got way better after decluttering their workspace, even people who decluttered their like digital lives and felt more peaceful.
It's amazing how wide-reaching it is.
It really is. It's never too late to start and make spaces that make you happy. So think about what really stuck with you today. What's one small thing you can declutter this week? Maybe that junk drawer or a closet, whatever.
Just start small, be patient, and celebrate those little wins. You might be surprised how much it changes things.
I'm with you on that. And we'll be back in a bit with some final thoughts and tips to help you on your way. All right, we're back. I'm definitely feeling ready to tackle some clutter after hearing those stories.
I know, right? It's so much more real when you hear how it actually helped people.
Totally. So we wanted to leave you with some final thoughts and some practical tips to actually get you started.
We've talked about how to declutter, but The WHY is important too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Decluttering is work. It's good to know, like, what's the point?
Exactly. For me, it's about making spaces that, I don't know, match your values. Like, what kind of life do you want?
It's not just about a clean house to impress people. It's more about, making your space reflect you.
Yes. Like, if you're all about creativity, maybe you make a little art studio or a reading nook or something.
Right.
If family time is big, maybe you declutter the living room so you can actually hang out and play games.
Making it intentional, not just random stuff everywhere.
And when your space feels good, it changes everything. You're calmer, you get more done, you're more present with people.
It's about the whole picture, not just the stuff.
Exactly. That's what motivates me to declutter.
Yeah.
Not getting rid of things, but making space for what matters.
Love it. So we got the why. Now hit us with the HOW. Tips for our listeners. Where do they even begin?
Start small, like we said.
Yeah.
One area you can handle, set a timer, 15 minutes. It's surprising how much you can do when you really focus.
Makes it less scary too. 15 minutes, anyone can do that.
Another thing, make it social. Have a friend come over, you declutter together, clothes, books, whatever. More fun. Plus, you keep each other on track.
Turn it into a party, why not?
Ah,
Potluck decluttering, haha.
there you go. And as you're going through stuff, those key questions, right? Do I use this? Do I love it? Does it add value to my life? If not, bye-bye.
And remember, it doesn't have to go in the trash. Donate, sell, give to someone who'll actually use it.
Once it's decluttered, then you got to make systems so it doesn't get bad again. Everything has a place. Put stuff back when you're done.
Those little habits add up.
Big time. Don't be afraid to try different organizing things. There's a ton out there. Find what works for you.
Truth. And most importantly, be patient with yourself. This isn't a race.
Nope. It takes time to change habits, let go of old ways.
You're not alone either. There are like whole communities about this stuff, books, podcasts, even social media groups, all about decluttering and minimalism.
It's true. Tons of support. If you're feeling lost, reach out, connect with people who get it.
And when you do make progress, celebrate it. Every little bit of decluttering is a win. Acknowledge it. Keep yourself going.
Well said. So that wraps up this deep dive. Hope you enjoyed learning about the hidden costs of clutter and that you're feeling ready to make some changes.
I know I am.
Remember, decluttering, it's not about having L as S. It's about making room for what's truly important to you.
So true. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep those spaces clutter-free.